Hey Blazers, this episode is brought to you by Audible.com, an Amazon company. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Blaze Entertainment.
Or visit the sponsor and supporters links on our website at intotheblaze.com. With over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now let's start the show.
You're locked in to the hottest station on the planet.
What's going on, Blazers? We're back with another episode of Blaze Entertainment Spotlight Edition. I'm your host, Kwame, joined by the lovely, the talented, the beautiful, the melanin proficient Miss Free. What's going on?
Not much. Chilling.
As usual, Miss Free is too lazy to come up into the studio, so she is patching in via phone.
That is so rude. That is so rude.
We know you got big things going on, girl, so we can't have you in the studio all the time. So, but we are really excited to have this gentleman on today. This is actually going to be our last spotlight interview, so we saved the best for last. Right? And we are honored to have the awesome, the entrepreneurial genius that is Asa Leveaux. How are you, sir?
I am well. How are you guys doing?
Really excited, and it's been a week.
It has.
It's been a good 2 weeks.
Girl.
You can say that again.
So for those who don't know who you are, Asa, which I'm shocked that they wouldn't, but, go ahead and give us a summary of, a brief interview or interlude of who Asa Leveaux is.
So for those of you all who are new to me, first off, hello. I do not walk into any room, whether that be physical or virtual, without saying hello. That's the Oklahoma way. If you did not do that growing up, you get hit in the back of the head and break your teeth clap. So I want to make sure that I say hello whenever I walk into any type of room. So there's this one question, of course, that we all get asked, and this is no exception. And that question is, what do you do? And for me, the answer to that question is I train and develop aspiring entrepreneurs to create their very first $10,000 in business. So that's the best way to describe what I do, the work that I'm interested in, the mission that I have.
Right on. Come on, I'm all about money. You got to make money now. I like that. And what got you into this, Asa? Like, what was your kind of starting roots and foundation in doing it? Because I know you're highly educated. I saw your background in terms of your degrees and stuff like that. But was that like kind of a focal point when you were going to school? Like, oh, I want to do this, or did it?
Not at all. Not one single solitary bit. If you were to see me at Oklahoma State University, circa 2001 to 2003, it was not in a classroom. It was at a party.
Right on.
I damn near flunked out of Oklahoma State University. Everybody knew me except the professor.
Okay.
That's very, very real. I went because I knew I wanted to have a degree. Mm-hmm. I had no real intention of being anything. I had an interest in business, but I wasn't propelled to do any one thing. So I wasn't one of those very, very studious individuals like, I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to be this. No, I needed to get out. I came in to get out, mm-hmm. and I wanted to know what was the quickest way to do that. And so, but that was all disrupted due to me I signed up for the military 3 months after 9/11 happened. And due to all of that, I was then sent to Afghanistan. Of course, basic training, technical school, AIT. After that, before that. Cool. And then in the midst of all of that, getting married at the tender young age of 20.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then really understanding what life is really all about once you do that. Yeah. So as far as me getting into the space of training and developing aspiring entrepreneurs, that came as a result of what came natural. So I've opened and closed and opened and closed and opened and closed various businesses for one reason or another. Sometimes I'm trifling. Sometimes, sometimes the people I hired I felt were trifling and I put the blame on them. And sometimes I just found somebody to put the blame on. But regardless of any of that, it just came really easy for me to teach people how to at least start the business, even when I was going through my failures. So that's what got me into it. And because I never wanted anybody to go through life, especially business life, without the information that was needed, like I went through it at first.
Good for you. Now,
and is that how you founded the Genius Academy?
So that's partly how I founded the Genius Academy. Indeed.
Oh, I'm sorry. You broke up a little bit there, Asa.
The way that I actually founded Genius Academy was I was at a function at a business workshop. And that business workshop totally transformed my life. And the number one question that they asked was, what's the limiting belief that you have about yourself? And I thought, I'm thinking, I have a lot of things at 4:00 in the morning that I have an issue with. Like, there's a lot. And then they said, well, what's the main thing? At 3:33 a.m., what's the one thing in your head that just keeps going? And I said, you know what? The thing for me is that I am a crappy, sucky, shitty businessman. That was the thought. And the reason why I even allowed that thought to enter my dome is because I was listening to people who went to school for what I was actually doing in real life. And that is how the limiting belief came into play for me personally. And then they said, well, that's only half the work. You can find out what your limiting belief is, but now it's time to transform that into an affirmation. So what is the one thing that really works for you? What is that? And I had to tell them, like, the one thing that really, really works for me, if I was to change that around, was that I was a wealthy business genius. That feels great. And then after I came up with that, I was thinking, okay, if I'm a wealthy business genius, if that's what I want to be perceived as, then I wonder if other people want to be geniuses too. And that's how Genius Academy started.
Cool.
Man.
Cool. That brings me to my next question. I know you mentioned your affirmations. I see you have two books here. I Am Man Enough and I Am Woman Enough. Can you tell me a little bit more about those books? Is it just 365 pages of, I am a successful businesswoman or I'm a successful businessman? Can you tell us a little bit more about those books?
So yes, those are actually the last two. Those are the last two books that I've written. And the first one that came about was I Am Man Enough. And I wrote that one because I wanted to get at the root. So yes, I help aspiring entrepreneurs. Yes, I help business owners. Yes, I do workshops and speaking engagements to all of the above. However, at the root, the issue that I kept seeing as far as men was that they didn't feel valued. They didn't feel worthy. They were feeling as though the totality of their existence was processed or placed in their penis. And that acted out in different ways. So, just the whole proliferation of the man whore came as a result of not feeling as though you are worthy of anything. And the only thing that you can bring to the world is how you can stroke somebody. Period. Like that's all you have. And since you feel like that's all you have, you're going to be a beast at that. So that's exactly what I wanted to say to men like, no, you are so much more than your penis. You are so much more than you changing a tire. You are so much more than what you do for people. All you need to do is just be. That's all you need to do. Just be. And so that came, and I asked 7 different men to share their stories of what it looks like when they didn't feel man enough. And so those stories are in the book as well as my own. And then I wrote all 365 affirmations, which serve as a workbook for men. So that's that part. And then as far as the woman enough book, I wasn't going to write that. I was pretty adamant. I was pretty adamant about that. Let's see, Man Enough came out, I want to say, like June, July time frame. Woman Enough didn't come out until that following March. And it would have came out sooner if I would have just said yes. But the reason why I said no was I had seen all the crap that they were doing to T.D. Jakes and Steve Harvey about writing woman-based books and being men. And I was like, bullshit. I don't want to do anything with that.
Right.
Like, I'm not signing up for that kind of ridicule. So finally, a woman in Texas who worked for the Red Cross was saying, Asa, when's the Woman Enough book coming? I was like, look, I'm telling like I tell everybody else, it ain't coming. It's not happening. Forget about it. And she said, but if you don't write it, who will? And as a speaker, I was speechless. And I decided, okay, since I have nothing to say, I will do what it is that you need me to do. Period. And so, but my thing is I needed to honor something that's called the divine feminine. I needed to really understand that I couldn't do this alone. So I enlisted 21 women to share their stories. I didn't share not one single solitary story because my thing is I am void of ovaries. So I have no point of reference. And their stories are beautiful. They are the best part of the book. Now, I did write all 365 affirmations, and I did not copy not one from the Man Enough book. And that looks like staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, listening to symposiums where Bell Hooks and Angela Davis and Gloria Steinem and all of these wonderful female trailblazers that we still have in our space today, they're showing and telling about things like patriarchal terrorism and these types of new phrases, and me not just sympathizing, but really getting as in tune as I possibly can to that divine feminine.
I respect that.
Glad you do.
Respect.
Okay. Now, Asa, like I originally thought that it was just Genius Academy that you had, but after doing research and realizing that you are the chief strategy and revenue officer of the Leveaux Group, which has several different divisions, which I'm as a black man to another black man very proud of you of. So
thank you.
That is a huge undertaking, and I know for me personally, just hearing your story just thus far, and what you said on the show today, resonated with me a lot. Because I also was in the military, and I did marry super young, actually 20, and
wow.
Yeah. So and having to go through all those different things and not really understanding who I was at the time and who I wanted to be, and also going during the Bush administration, which was in and of itself hell. So it was just really a different time than it is now. And I look back at myself, and I'm like, I'm not nowhere near. I wouldn't even have talked to that Kwame, you know what I'm saying? And it's just really interesting to see, even, listening to you and saying that you've had, you've started businesses and failed, and and then, you've grown into to this person where, and this entrepreneur where it doesn't matter how many times you fail because you just need to succeed once. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
and I applaud that. And after a while, especially because I've had several dance companies and performing arts groups, and I was like, oh my God, what's the point of even starting another one if it's just gonna fail? But I'm like, if it's gonna succeed, like each one that I've done, it's gotten better and better. I've learned from my mistakes. I've eliminated certain people from my life. I've grown in myself. I've eliminated certain traits that I thought was business detrimental. And so, it's really encouraging to hear other people who are successful, and that have failed before, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So, congratulations to you on that. And it's especially in this time and age, like a lot of people, has the stigma of African American men, and that they're not going to go anywhere, that they can't accomplish anything. So seeing that you're being so successful in what you're doing, and really like being selfless in terms of, especially with what you just described with I Am Woman Enough book, like you didn't speak for women, you allowed women to speak through you. And I think that there's a total difference with that. And I don't think, a lot of people understand that. And that's really the heart of male feminism, I guess. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're not speaking for women. Women are speaking through us, and we're helping them to or not even helping them. We're reflecting their voice. You know what I mean? And I think that is tremendous in the fact that you made sure that was clear in how you said that. So
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. I had a question because one of the I know that we had talked a couple of weeks ago. We've been chatting on Facebook every now and then, and you had mentioned some upcoming things that are coming, and I would love to kind of give you the opportunity to express that, because I'm personally excited for it, and I would like to know more about it. So,
okay, so I don't remember what I told you.
I know we talked a lot. We've had a lot of conversations.
So which specific thing?
The colorful division. I'm trying to speak in code.
Oh,
yeah.
So not the colorful one. You mean you're talking about the logo? How it is colorful?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? So yes, you were correct about how the business is structured, and that's not a secret. Just for those individuals out there that feel like maybe I'm talking too much, maybe African American colloquialism, they need to know all that. That's family business.
Okay.
So business organizations and business structures you can actually Google those, and you can follow certain people's successes and go after that the same way they did.
Mm-hmm.
So I love the model that Richard Branson, who's over the Virgin Group.
Yes.
I love his model. I really, really dig how he operates in the world and how he just is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just doesn't give a damn. Like he's just going to do it. And
right.
That's, it resonates with me. And so I was like, okay, I like that. So I just did the exact same thing. And so, of course, on the for-profit side, I have the Leveaux Group. And on the not-for-profit side, I have the Leveaux Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Leveaux Foundation is not particular. It's not for a particular cause. It's just that when we find something to do, we do it.
Right.
Because my thing is, I am passionate about issues, but for an organization to work, especially a nonprofit organization, you either need to be for one thing or you need to be a catalyst and a conduit for all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I choose to operate this with. That's like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Again, so I saw a process and I duplicated it. And that's what R&D stands for: rob and duplicate. Not rob as in getting into patent issues and intellectual property, but its structures can't be patented. Just do it. So the first initiative that the Leveaux Foundation is going to take up is something entitled Queer School.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell is Queer School?
Yeah, what is that?
So I decided that I wanted to provide tangible, transformational resources to that little bi boy in Iran,
Mm-hmm.
that little lesbian girl in the rural parts of Argentina, that trans woman that's in Iowa, that gay 17-year-old that's in Little Rock, Arkansas. I wanted to provide something for them other than a 1-800 hotline number.
Preach.
Okay. I see.
The thing is, 1-800 hotline numbers, I get them. Sometimes they can feel a little antiquated because, they've been used since the 80s and the 90s. And people tend to use 1-800 numbers when they are on the verge.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean on the verge of saying fuck it all.
Right.
Right.
And what do you do when you haven't got to the brink of fuck it, but you definitely need some assistance?
Before you say fuck it.
I do? Yeah, before you say fuck it. Can we get something to the individual before they even get there, so they don't necessarily have to get there? That's and not necessarily something that's therapeutic, that feels as though you are analyzing and taking notes down, but something that I can say, okay, I'm 23 years old. I live in Flint, Michigan. By the way, we need to fix that water shit.
Okay.
Living in Flint, Michigan, and I'm just now going to own the fact that I'm gay and my parents are pastors and I grew up in church and have no idea what to do as a sexual position of a bottom per se. I have no idea what to do. I have no idea what that means. I have no idea how to forgive the people that talked bad about me. I can't even really stand myself in the mirror, even though all of my selfies on Instagram are on fleek.
Man, listen.
So, in spite of all of that, what is for them? Yeah, you might dance on a box, but you haven't opened up your emotions for a very long time. I always say this. Yeah, you've been fucked well, but you haven't been loved in a real long time.
Well,
come on now.
So that's what Queer School is about, to assist, train, and develop those young LGBTQ humans. They're humans. And I want to provide a resource for them so that they don't feel like they are alone and they don't become the marginalized within the marginalized.
Amen.
I see.
Respect.
Man, let me tell you something. Because when we first talked about it, on because you had messaged me on Facebook and like, hey, I just want to let you know that this is coming up, and I was like, what? And like, because I'm with everything that's going on politically in our world, I've been super extra sensitive about everything. There's not a lot of programs like you were describing for LGBTQ, plus communities. And the programs that are out there are either preventative are either situations where they're crisis interventions, or they're situations where there are specific issues that deal with the psyche of the person. It's not necessarily, lifestyle issues or how to get acclimated into the gay community, because that was something that I feel that is huge. Because not everybody who is coming out or has a coming out story that it's all negative. A lot of times it's just a situation where they just don't know how to transition from the heterosexual normative that they've been accustomed to and coming into the LGBTQ community. And then you have a situation where, if you want to break it down even more, like myself, I was a young gay Black man, and I was already in a heterosexual normative, but on top of that, I was in a Black, heterosexual normative where that's not even spoken of, and it's already, aggressively targeted. So I felt like a minority within a minority,
Right.
And so
Exactly.
it becomes a situation where it's like, how am I supposed to transition from this place, and who is going to be able to tell me how to operate as a gay, Black man? Who is going to tell me how I'm supposed to, what type of clubs I should stay away from, what type of clubs should I be a part of, if I should even go to a club? Am I a club type of person? These are the type of things that, as a young gay, man, I wish I would have knew more, and I'm very happy that you're going to be able to provide, those type of tools to gay youth. So
yes, thank you. And for anyone that is interested, they can go to queerschool.co. That is queerschool.co. Our intention is that we will launch officially on December 25th. It is our Christmas gift to the LGBT community. So December 25th is when we will actually be available. Right now, I am still bringing on, we are always bringing on professors of the queer school. And so please don't be alarmed by the term professors. Professors are simply what we call our teachers and our trainers. And we have people as old as 65 and people as young as 19 that are professors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because our intent is that we see value in people, and as long as you have a documented trail of providing resources and help to the community, you yourself are part of that community, then yes, we believe that you have value, because our intention is that we service them from freshman to senior year. Now, we're not saying it's going to be a 4-year process, but definitely that's how we are categorizing the content. So, for instance, your freshman year may look like something like understanding that all the letters in LGBTQ have value.
Mm-hmm.
Your freshman year may look like having a course in forgiveness, because so many people within the LGBTQ have issues with people abusing them sexually, verbally, emotionally, physically throughout some point of their life, if not currently. And they don't know how to get past that, to include the damage that they put on themselves.
Right.
But then going all the way to senior year, and then senior year looking more like, okay, you learned all of this. How are you going to be a mentor, but be a mentor with integrity? Meaning, let's just be upfront and plain about it. You're a mentor that's not fucking everybody who's your mentee.
Right. Go on and preach.
I know, right?
Because that will not happen. This is not what this is.
Right.
And I've seen those happen. So this is not a house. So if for those of you who've seen Paris is Burning, the documentary on Netflix, this is not a house. This is not the House of Leveaux.
Okay.
It sounds real awesome, but no, this is not the House of Leveaux.
Come on, new fashion line.
So this is not what this is. This needs to be an intentional safe space.
Right. And I commend you on saying that, because that's something that a lot of LGBT, I know adults that look down, who actually are in the communities and actually going out there and helping LGBT youth. And that's one of their concerns, that they will eventually, because they're so afraid of this established, type of quote unquote therapy type situation, where they're not realizing that it's more of a mentorship as opposed to therapy. Although you do get therapy within it. The kids have this notion, and there's a negative stigma when it comes to these type of programs. And so they tend to go to a negative direction, and go to other people who would take advantage of them. So I truly commend you on already setting those type of ground rules and making sure that that's established and creating that safe space, because there's not enough, especially now with this political change that we're having in this climate that we're having right now in this country. Those type of safe spaces are going to be crucial if we're gonna get through these 4 damn years. So shit.
Right. Understood.
And with that being said, like what I know that, with everything that's been going on, I'm very active on social media, as you probably may or may not have seen, but I have seen a lot of your posts, and I know that you went to some protests before when it came to Black Lives Matter, and also you've made some comments in regards to how you're feeling with it. How do you feel with everything that's going on? How do you feel that's going to affect your business and also you as an African American man?
So to make sure that I stay on topic, how do I feel about Donald Trump being the president-elect, and as of January being the president, and how do I feel that will affect my business?
Mm-hmm.
I do not believe that it will.
Amen.
And the reason why is this. The reason why is because I am very knowledgeable about who my customer avatar is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not familiar with that type of verbiage, that's your customer profile.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the person that who you're marketing to in your business? My people that I'm going after, whether it be Genius Academy, whether it be Queer School, are not swayed one direction or the next based on what Donald Trump is doing or not doing. So I'm very clear on that. My business will be the same as if Barack Obama had a third term.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just will be what it will be. Do I understand that because of Donald Trump, things can happen globally as far as economically and domestically, as far as economics and social issues and cultural clashes? I do. I really do. And I also still believe in an abundance mindset, meaning I still believe that there are enough people for me to service, to live and do well.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I do not have a local mindset. I have a abundant global mindset. So, for instance, if no one in Detroit and no one in Chicago, no one in Oklahoma City or Dallas or LA or Phoenix puts their hands on Genius Academy or Queer School, there is this place called the rest of the world that is totally game. And guess what? They speak English and like black people.
Mm-hmm.
I have a passport that proves it. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep. And I actually say that. So there are African Americans, black people, kissed by the sun, however you want to be called or referred to. Please know that I will say that to really be free in 2016, 2017 means to have a passport. I'm going to urge you all to get that. Please
that. First thing.
Yes, please get that. Because just from a cultural point of view, and yes, I understand that I am shifting a little bit, but from a cultural point of view, it's just nice to visit a place that does not regard you as an enemy, does not regard you as competition, but regards you in all of your amazing dark, red, brown beauty.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like being in Paris and people looking at you as if you're loved. There's nothing like being in Brazil and realizing, ain't nobody tripping because they look like me.
Right.
Right. So I urge anybody that is to please get your passports. Just, because Donald Trump might do something crazy. And if he do, my thing is, you can leave the country regardless of who's in office or not. Just get out there. The world is so huge. You just need to experience life more. I've heard that life is like a bonfire. At the end of it, there should be nothing left.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that resonates with me, truly resonates with me. So go out there, experience some things, experience some other people. Know what it's like to be in a train station and not know what anybody around you is saying. And still make it out alive.
Right. Asa, I really appreciate you being on the show, and I hope when we start up our Spotlight edition series again that you will come back on the show, because you've been amazing, and like it's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. You're very inspiring, and very motivating, and very knowledgeable. You got some knowledge on this show today, so
thank you very much for that.
And we will definitely, for those, I mean, if you want to mention it again, I would love for you to. But we're definitely going to have your all of your social media, your websites, all that stuff is going to be linked up when we go ahead and air the show. But for those who are listening currently, you want to go ahead and shout out some links and stuff like that?
Sure. So if you are that individual that is you're dreaming and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if a business is possible. Like, I wonder if it's even possible for me. And right now I'm frustrated because I'm going to work every day. I don't really understand why I'm really here. I want a business, but I don't know what to start. Or you have a business idea in mind, but again, you need the information, and you are so over going to get an MBA. You need the information now so you can start making money now. You might, no, you don't, not might. You need to go to Entrepreneur Playbook. entrepreneurplaybook.co. I'll say that again, entrepreneurplaybook.co. Go there. And the Entrepreneur Playbook is a subscription base. So rather than paying some business coach, a professor, a school thousands of dollars, you pay $38 a month. And you get all the resources that are there for you. You just get them. And guess what? Your first month is $1. Nice. Your very first month is $1. So if you want to try it out just to see what is this about? You need to try it out, and you get to cancel at any time. And so that's what that is, entrepreneurplaybook.co. And if you are interested in Queer School, or if you have somebody that you suspect may need that as a resource, and we are not in competition with anybody. We love all prides. We love all festivals. We love all nonprofits out there. The Trevor Project is great. Others like it are great. Christopher Street West, hats off to them. And so there's no competition. It is only collaboration.
Right.
And if you want to get those resources, then go to queerschool.co and sign up. It's a free sign up. This is a free resource. And so it's a password protected, and we respect the identities of our students. So we are not in the business of outing anyone. Our professors sign very, very specific privacy agreements to protect those in which we serve. So we don't care who you are. We want to help you and assist you. So you can actually sign up for free before December 25th by going to queerschool.co as well.
Right on. Asa, you're amazing, man.
Thank you so much.
You're awesome. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by, and again, we would love to have you on the show next year, and thanks for being the closing guide to close out this season's spotlight interviews.
Yes, very inspirational.
Yes,
thank you.
Well, take it easy, so you keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you both.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.